paid a visit to President Bola Tinubu at the Aso Rock Presidential Villa, Abuja. The meeting is part of a recurring pattern of consultations between the two leaders on West African political affairs and Nigeria's continental engagement. The visit, which was held at approximately 4 p.m., was confirmed by the Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Bayo Ononuga, who posted photographs of the meeting on his X account, writing President Tinubu meets former President Goodluck Jonathan at the villa. The photographs showed both men engaged in what appeared to be a relaxed discussion, with a 2-year milestone document visible in a corner of the President's office. No official statement was issued on the substance of the discussions, but the meeting comes months after Jonathan's last visit in November 2025. Meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu has approved a 17 billion naira community-based National Social Action Fund aimed at accelerating grassroots development across Nigeria's 8,804 political wards. The move is aimed at deepening local participation in service delivery and improving socio-economic outcomes. The initiative, announced in a statement by the Federal Ministry of Health and Social Welfare and signed by Assistant Director of Information and Public Relations, Adobako, will be implemented through a newly established task force designed to drive community-led interventions nationwide. According to the statement, each ward will work with a verified community-based organization to identify and execute priority projects tailored to local needs. President Bola Tinubu has unveiled a 25 trillion naira pension assets pool as part of a sweeping social protection drive, assuring that Nigerian workers would no longer face hardship after retirement. The president, who reaffirmed his administration's commitment to shielding workers from economic shocks and workplace risk, spoke at the opening of the Easter 2026 West Africa Seminar in Abuja. He said since assuming office in 2023, his government has pursued the renewed hope agenda with focus on restoring opportunity, protecting livelihoods, and rebuilding confidence in the economy. According to him, key institutions forming the backbone of Nigeria's social security system have been strengthened to deliver better outcomes for workers. President Tinubu further disclosed that under the supervision of the National Pension Commission, over 10 million Nigerian workers were actively contributing to the contributory pension scheme, with total pension assets now exceeding 25 trillion naira. As the world becomes increasingly driven by technology, literacy now extends beyond the ability to read and write, embracing digital competence as a vital skill for survival and development. In Nigeria, however, a widening gap in access to digital tools and skills continues to challenge efforts at inclusive growth and global governance. In this special report, Kim Agu examines Nigeria's literacy level from a technological perspective, highlighting gaps in digital skills and the country's response to the demands of the digital age. Her report.
Digital literacy is fast becoming a defining factor in national development, shaping how individuals learn, work, and interact in any increasingly connected world. In Nigeria, the ability to effectively use digital tools is gradually gaining recognition as an essential life skill beyond traditional literacy. Despite this growing importance, access to digital technology remains uneven across the country, particularly between urban and rural communities. While some schools and institutions are integrating digital tools into learning, many others still struggle with inadequate infrastructure, limited internet access, and a shortage of trained personnel.
Talk about literacy is not about ability to read and write alone. So it has to do with understanding some basic civic responsibility, knowing your rights, knowing your responsibility as a citizen, try to do beyond reading and writing. But we still have a situation in some part of this country where they cannot even read and write. We have a situation whereby people now even have paper qualification, but you cannot say they are actually educated. So those are the gaps, and I think government needs to be deliberate in putting on structure, infrastructure, and ensuring that we improve literacy in Nigeria.
Experts note that the digital divide is not only about access to devices, but also the capacity to use them meaningfully.
We have come to accept the fact that there's nothing we can do about technology. It has come to stay, and it's also helping us. But to our youths, it's really distracting them, and they are using they're using it wrongly. Let me put it that way. So we will continue to sensitize them. We'll continue to promote reading, because a reader is a leader. Take a book on a journey to win them back to reading, and by the time they fall in love with reading, we know that it will encourage them.
We try to look at it, when did we stop reading as a people, and then we can trace it back to when television became 24 hours, right? And then when the internet came, and then social media has taken over everything. Young people now live their entire day on social media. They can be on TikTok, be on Instagram, be on WeChat for the rest of the day, and they're never tired. There should be that deliberate effort to say, no, I want to create time to read. Because when you read books, what you are doing is that you are getting into the mind of other people.
Many young people possess smartphones, yet lack the skills required for productive and educational use, limiting opportunities in areas such as online learning, innovation, and employment. As Nigeria navigates the demands of the digital age, stakeholders emphasize the need for sustained investment in technology-driven education and capacity building. Bridging the digital legacy gap, they say, is critical to empowering citizens and positioning the nation for global competitiveness. Nkem Agu, OGTV News.
The rains are here, and so is the farming season. For millions of Nigerians, this is more than just planting time. It is a chance to fight hunger and reduce the rising cost of food. Taiwo Fabaju speaks with farmers on their expectations for the new season. His report.
As a new farming season begins, Nigeria turns once again to the soil for answer. Farmers are stepping into this period with preparation, expectation, and hope as the rainy season sets in. Many are adopting early planting varieties in a bid to stay ahead of changing climate patterns. However, some farmers express mixed feelings about achieving food security in 2026, citing challenges such as climate change, insecurity, and the high cost of petrol.
For the new season, which in Ogun State, we'll say some parts of Ogun State, the new season is a bit delayed. But of course, we as farmers, we are sensitizing ourselves not to panic, especially when you consider the climatic change, the weather change. We're trying to adjust to it.
We farmers are fully prepared, and so land clearing, everything. In fact, we are planted. But the strategy since we began to have climate change is to scatter our planting so that we don't lose as we used to lose.
While some farmers predict that food prices may remain high due to rising production costs, others believe farming must become more profitable for those in the sector.
The cost of getting to farm, the cost of the inputs that we get on the farm, even the cost of manpower on the farm, those people that work for us on the farm, everything has increased. We hope it can be managed, but definitely is affecting the cost of production, and it would definitely affect the cost of the output.
This didn't come suddenly. There has been forecast that things like this will come in, and when you see the sign of insecurity, it's a sign that there's need for those of us in Southwest farmers to step up our game. So it's a win-win situation.
They are also calling for increased government intervention to boost food production, while some remain optimistic that support is on the way.
Serious government intervention. I am of the opinion, or I have an assurance that with those interventions coming from the state government, from federal government, if those interventions actually get to the real farmers, one can be sure that this season will move close to a maximum food security.
With the facility already provided by the Governor, His Excellency Dapo Abiodun. The tractors, the harvesters, the sprayers, the boomers, everything we needed is already on ground. My only request, and one of the affirmations we had yesterday, was that for our governor to release those things to us as quickly as possible.
The new rainy season is more than just a change in weather. It remains Nigeria's oldest answer to hunger. Taiwo Fabajo, OGTV News.
And moving on to the foreign scene, Iran's Revolutionary Guards has said that naval forces had seized 2 container ships trying to cross the Strait of Hormuz, despite U.S. President Donald Trump announcing he was extending a ceasefire to allow more time for talks. Despite the latest series of attacks on maritime traffic in the Gulf, a second round of U.S.-Iran talks could take place within the next 3 days. Newsmen have reported, citing Trump and unnamed Pakistani sources. UK-based maritime security monitors confirmed that 3 commercial vessels have reported incidents involving gunboats in the crucial strait, the international gateway for the Gulf oil and gas industry, which US and Iranian forces are battling to control. And on to sports, the Nigeria Premier Football League has confirmed that the 2025-26 season will conclude on May. Links to the President's Federation Cup. Davidson explained that the league calendar was carefully structured in collaboration with the Nigeria Football Federation Competitions Department at the start of the season, with designated breaks built in to accommodate the Federation Cup and avoid disruptions that have affected previous campaigns. According to him, the system has been consistently implemented since January, ensuring what he described as a more organized and predictable schedule. Match Day 36 fixtures will now take place on May 3rd, with Match Day 37 set for May 10. And just before we end the news, let us remind you of the words of Nido Quibin that says, your present circumstances